quickly. I don't know if you guys have that chart, and I don't know if you want me to show that, screen share that chart, Gail, or not.
Yeah,
but
you.
Why don't I? Okay, let's see if I can go ahead and make me host. Yeah.
You know how to make her a host, Gail?
Mm-mm.
You need to click on
Okay,
Alexandra. There will be a little click, and then it will be an option, make her a host.
So I can show the chart.
Yeah. So
Thank
if
you, Sasha.
if you go into a chat, and then not chat, participants, and then
I did it. So Alexandra,
Okay.
all you
Go
have
host. Great. Awesome. Great. Okay, share screen. Let's see if I can get the right screen up. Got lots of stuff up here. I wasn't. Just give me a second here. Where's power?
Alexandra's a Pisces, in case you were wondering.
That means she goes with the flow.
That means technology and I don't make the best of friends is really what it means. Okay, let's see if I can share screen now.
You just click the green arrow on my thing.
Yeah, hold on a second. Oh boy, hold on. Okay, so share screen. There it is. Okay. Do you see the chart, you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is Joe Biden's chart, and this is based on the information that's available, widely available to us. Now, what's interesting in his chart, and this is from some research that I've done as well, actually one of my colleagues who's done a lot of research on political figures and so forth. As we know that Joe Biden is a Scorpio, and there's his sun at 27 degrees of Scorpio, and he has in fact quite a bit of Scorpio, Mars, Mercury, Sun, and Venus in the 12th house of in Scorpio, the Sag rising, and the moon in Taurus in the 5th house. Now, what's interesting, and I want to keep this brief and short, the 12th house, which is traditionally also associated with the sign of Pisces, has to do with a collective, has to do with that slice of life that we all share. Like, for instance, sidewalks are part of the collective, things that we all are part of. And what's been interesting is that quite a few presidents, quite a few leaders, a significant amount, seem to have a lot of 12th house planets, because it's like they tap into the collective. People who are involved in politics, people who are involved with the collective at large. And so he's definitely no exception. And as we know, he's been in politics since he was a young man, for the last 50 years plus. So this is no surprise. He is a Scorpio. He is, I don't know him personally, and I haven't delved into his private life, but I imagine the man is, he's got Mercury in Scorpio, not a man of a whole lot of words. People with Mercury in Scorpio tend to keep, a lot of information hidden, deep insight, intensity, and also have a way of, and in the 12th house, again, being able to tap into that collective. Moon in Taurus, there's definitely a practical aspect to this gentleman. He wants safety, security are really important. And Moon in Taurus, regardless of the rest of the horoscope in anyone's life, having a moon in Taurus is going to indicate someone who really values feeling safe and secure on the material plane. This is an important element. This is an important aspect. And change isn't always easy, or it's not easy for anybody. But people with moon in the moon describes many things in our horoscope, but it also speaks to our habits, our second nature, how we respond to any given situation. And people with moon in Taurus don't have a hard time making big changes in one's life. Now he, he's been forced to deal with change in his life, as most of us have. He does have a Sag rising, which really gives him, which is the same, he's got a Sag rising. The United States chart has a Sag rising, the Sibley chart. There are several charts, but the one that most often is used is the Sibley chart, which has a 12-degree Sag rising. This guy's got a 3-degree Sag rising. And he's a visionary. Sagittarius in and of itself is about meaning in life. What's important? What connects the dots? What, those threads that weave into and throughout the fabric of humanity that create that wonderful fabric of humanity and society. So it's a visionary quality, and one that aspires to heights and goals, goal-oriented. And he's got Venus real close to his ascendant, again in Scorpio, in the 12th house, right here, the Venus, really close to his sun. So, he comes off as a nice guy. Like I said, I don't know the guy, but looking at his chart, I would think, yeah, he really is a nice guy. Relationships are important to him. He wants peace. He wants harmony, but he's also willing to take the responsibility and, take the responsibility and stand up for what's right. He can lean on unconventional if he has to in how he responds to other people with that Uranus, Saturn, close to that 7th house cusp, which has to do with others and how we relate to others. Looking at this chart, we can go and explore this chart at length, but what was really interesting to me is when we look at the United States chart with his chart, what we find, I wish I could put this up. Oh, I can put it up. Hold on a second. Let's see. United States chart. Can you guys see what I'm doing or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's see.
Inner wheel. USA.
And then view. Okay, here we go. Is this what I want?
Yes.
Cool. This is what I want. Yeah.
Cool.
This is the United States chart in the middle. Okay. The US is a 12-degree Sag, a lot of planets in the 8th house, which is traditionally associated with Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio, and joint resources. As a country, we're constantly fiddling and messing, are really, and other nations' resources. This is part of our legacy in this country. It's like, how do we get other people's resources to sustain us? And we do. We have a way. And so at this time, what we have, the way that Joe Biden's chart fits in is that he has Saturn, the symbol of Saturn, conjoined the US chart.
Gotcha.
And what's interesting is that right now, particularly this year, in the sky, we have a Saturn. Saturn is at about 7 degrees Aquarius right now. It made that conjunction with Jupiter. If some of you heard, it's every 20 years, Jupiter and Saturn come together. Interestingly enough, the last time they came together at the same degree that they just did in December, at 23 Aquarius was in 1226, a long time ago, like 800 years ago. The last time they came together in Aquarius was in the 1405. A lot of interesting things were going on both of those periods. But in any event, so we have a Saturn Uranus going to be in a 90-degree angle position, indicating a challenge. Uranian energy represents the new, the cutting edge, the unexpected circumstances, the progressive, and Saturn represents the establishment, the tried, the true, what infrastructures, and structure. Those Saturn comes onto United States Uranus, indicating, and in the 6th house of our daily life, our work,
Right.
daily life. So it's like his energy, this Saturnian energy that he brings forth to our Uranian element of breaking out of the box, is going to help, I think, potentially, I hope so, help assist the process of restructure. Structure is a key word for Saturn. The Uranian elements that we represent. How is it that we do that we can continue to be progressive, but in a new way and in a new structured way? Now, this is part of, I think, his mission. Also, what's going on here in this chart is that his Jupiter, which has to do with expansion, has to do with our belief system, has to do with higher education, philosophy, politics, is conjoined to the United States Mercury, how we think as a nation, how we communicate. So being a voice of America, expanding our voice, is going to be one of his missions. This is actually very fortuitous, also because it is in Cancer and it speaks to home, and we're talking about our home also is in the United States, aside of just the home that we live in on the planet. So that is a really fortuitous combination that we've got going right now. And he also has his Pluto right on the United States North Node. This is a sensitive point in the chart, which speaks to where are we going. The South Node opposite it. And the United States actually has a Pluto South Node, fair conjunction, wide, but still a conjunction. It speaks to Pluto's about transformation, death, rebirth, kind of creating something out of rubble. So the direction that we're moving in, he is going to help us transform it. Ideally, I don't know what's going to happen, but this is part of his mission. This is part of how he's hooking in. And I think his role will be very powerful in terms of the collective. I don't know, but quiet in a more subtle way. Not our last president was also powerful, but in a much more boisterous way. I mean, that chart is very different from Mr. Biden's chart, with a strong Leo, with strong Martian energy. So these are some of the ways that this qualifies him as the right person for now. Also in the United States chart, here's the United States Pluto. And it's in Capricorn, the sign that has to do with government. It has to do with structure, infrastructure, politics, boundaries. And Pluto, we're coming up to our Pluto return in the next year and a half. It's going to touch it. So in many ways, it's almost like we need to transform. I keep thinking, I've also got the Constitution chart up, which it's a similar flavor, where our country's is in a process of transformation right now. And I think that with looking at this combination and this combination and this combination, this president is going to be able to make some good headway. And like I said, we will see. But no matter what, yes. Did somebody want to say something?
I said yay.
Yay, yeah. Well, when we look at the United States chart, I mean, we look at this chart right here, that you guys can see. This is a United States chart in the middle. I like to use secondary progressions there on the outside, and these are the transits. So right now, Pluto's at 25. And actually in the course of this year, it's going to be at 27. But I mean, the United States has had, we just had Saturn go over our Pluto, and both Saturn and Pluto are the two symbolic forces that speak to endings. And 2020 has been a year of endings. In fact, many of these symbols have been in their last phase. So it's going to take until 2021 to 25, basically, as we've come to this balsamic phase, this darkness, to come into a new phase. This is collectively around the world, but also in our own in this national chart that we have. So, within this next year, we're going to, we've never had a Pluto return. The last time that Pluto was at this place was in 1776, right? When we
Wow.
did our Constitution. So all this stuff is up for a remake. This is the first time Pluto has roughly a 220, 50-year orbit. It vacillates, but that was the last time, was in 1776. It was at 27 degrees Capricorn. So this is our first time. And just as we were ending this last year, 2020, we had Jupiter and Saturn also right on this point and opposing Mercury. So, and not only that, by progression in our own evolution, we have had this, we are a Cancer nation, but we've had our progressed in our own evolution. The sun, which represents how we assert ourselves in the world and our identity. You can say personally, collectively here, is a Cancer nation. It's all about, we have this idea of like, we want to mother the world in essence, right? These Cancer qualities, but it's progressed to Pisces. And in the last couple of years, and especially last year and the year before, Neptune by transit has been conjoining that, really creating a lot of confusion and a lot of disillusionment in the last couple of years. And we're moving away from that now, slowly, but we are moving away from that.
Alexandra, can I ask a question? Can I ask
Absolutely,
a question
ask
about,
me.
great. The Saturn and Jupiter conjunction was such a big deal this year, right? Where the
Yes.
planets were going to be together and we were all looking for it. And astrologically, what is the significance of that? And then I also want to ask, have we just entered the age of Aquarius? Has that actually happened? Are we?
Okay,
Like-
so let me answer this one first, because it's quick and easy. They're all quick and easy. They're both quick and easy.
Okay.
So, there's a gray period, okay? There's a gray period, gray color, between the black and the white. There is no black and white. We've been entering the Aquarius age, I think, the better part of the century. And we're just
Right.
now, especially now, with Jupiter and Saturn conjoining, which they do every 20 years, okay? But we're finally moving out of they do this every 20 years, and they pretty much stay in the same element. In the last 200 years, actually since about 1820, there's been that we have been in the earth element, which has had a lot to do with our, extraction, dealing with the
Right.
earth, becoming, our wealth, the material resources,
Right.
right? And usually once in that 200-year period, it dips into the element that it's going to go into the following 200 years. Now we've just started this new 200-year cycle of it being in air and in Aquarius. So really we're moving much more deeply into this Aquarian age cycle.
Right.
And in the next couple of years, Pluto is going to move into Aquarius, excuse me. And then shortly thereafter, Uranus will move into Gemini. So we're really moving into this air/Aquarian age. And we're, really getting more firmly planted in that. Now, I hope that answers that question.
It does.
So we're in the process. It's happening. And yes,
And
go ahead.
according to astrology, what will that look like? What is the Aquarian age? What is, according to astrology? I mean, I have my idea of what the Aquarian age is.
Okay,
But as far as astrologers think, what is happening with the Aquarian age? Because it feels like you said we've been coming in this direction, but now it feels like we're full, like the wave has crested, and it's like we're not leading up
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a good image, Suzanne. What is it? Well, I think that this what part of this, and especially, we really got a good whiff of it in the early 90s during the, when the tech information highway really opened up.
Right.
So we're really moving more into a digitalized age.
Yes.
Everything will be more digital. This Zooming business that this COVID also has, how we communicate, how we socialize. A lot of this is going to become more pronounced, whether we like it or not. And, Jupiter also has to do with education. So a lot more learning online, Zooming, this kind of education. In a broader stroke, we can also say that the individual needs are going to have to move over for what's best for all. And we need to be careful about this because, the pendulum swings in extremes, right? Because we don't want to give up our individuality, but at the same time, we do need to be thinking about the good of all. So to some degree, the Aquarian age also will bring in this, policies that are going to benefit the many versus the few, however we like it, even though Aquarius is known for being individualistic. Okay. And out of the box, also, we're going to see difference in travel. Again, who know within the next century, I think we're going to be all this stuff that we saw just think about how we do, all the stuff that we used to look at Star Trek, 40 years ago, it's happening now. And the Jetsons, flying around. The other day, this travel business. I mean, the other day I saw some guy on a hoverboard. And I just thought, whoa, this is like, so that's kind of the direction we're moving in. But, so the challenge is like, how do we not lose our humanity in this process? And I think also there's going to be a greater emphasis on how we grow food, just across the board. And this is also going to be it's a function of Uranus and of Uranus and Taurus, which has to do with innovative ways of agriculture and taking care of the earth.
I agree.
So I mean, those are a few things. Those are a few of those things. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But education, communication, yeah. So
could you have looked at Biden's chart and seen that he would have those 3 big events, the aneurysm, the death of his wife and daughter, being elected president? Is that something you can see in a chart?
Okay, no, listen, what you can see, what I love to remind people and to remember is that astrology is archetypally predictive, not literally predictive. When I first started looking at Biden's chart back for 72, really, what I noticed, I had to run a few charts, and what I noticed was that by progression, by evolution, his progressed Mars was opposing his moon in 72, and it was right on the area of relationship, and it was sandwiched just between Uranus and Saturn. So some unexpected events, something. Mars can be violent, it's harsh, it's an impactful energy. So and it was right on his ascendant. So we could have said, hey, something very dynamic is likely going to occur around this time relative to relationship and how it's going to affect him in his life. And the moon also has to do with family. So it's going to impact his family. Would we have said it's going to be an accident? I wouldn't have said that. But, it could have been, because it's something that you don't expect that is going to have it could have been something else. You don't know exactly how it's going, but it was very clear. And in fact, I was also looking at his solar return chart of that particular year. And Pluto, I mean, his 7th house of relationships, marriage, it was loaded. So there was and opposing the moon, which has to do with family, safety, security. Pluto, Mars, Uranus were all together. In fact, Venus and Uranus were together opposing that. So you knew, by looking at these charts, that something dynamic was going to happen. Would I have said it's going to be a car accident? I don't know if I would have said that, but I would have known something dynamic would happen. And then again in 87, 88, the solar return chart for him, it's like the universe was, and looking also at his Biden's, when he had those aneurysms and, nearly died, I would have said that the message of the universe was trying to give him And I saw this mostly because I was looking at health stuff. I was trying to kind of look at this in a variety of different ways, but it all kind of came together when I also, once again, looked at 3 charts together. The universe was saying, got to take care of yourself. You're not taking care of yourself. You know, take, you know, value who you are, you know, focus more attention on your well-being, on what's, on yourself. Because I think that, I don't know exactly what was going on in his life at that time. I can only imagine, but he wasn't taking care of himself. He was far from it. And would I have said this is going to result in an aneurysm? I don't know if I would have said that, but I would certainly have said this can have an impact on your health if you don't begin to care for yourself. Furthermore, my suspicion is, because he also had Jupiter in the 6th house of that solar return of that year, Jupiter tends to magnify whatever is going on, for better and for worse. So whatever was his condition was magnified. So it just kind of went over the top at that time. If that makes any sense to you guys, it makes a lot of sense to me. So the other question was something about Jupiter and Saturn and Uranus. Was that the question? You know, to explain that a little bit briefly?
You know, I was actually thinking about the one that hadn't come back into conjunction since medieval times, since like 12 or 1300.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, I had done every year, one of my colleagues and I do presentations, and let me find my little slide here. I got a couple of slides. So the one in, hold on a second.
I wonder if
Yeah,
I
we
got
had a lot of really
too mixed
powerful.
up. I'm sorry if I got too big. There seemed to have been a lot of like astronomical things going on lately, right? I think one was,
well, it was last year.
Yeah. And then the other one had something hadn't happened since medieval times, since the Renaissance and that. Exactly.
And it was, okay, so this one was the last time, like I said, was in 1226.
Yes.
This was this Jupiter-Saturn cycle. It was also in Aquarius in 1400.
Oh, okay. So that
really what we were looking at is a period of the Renaissance.
Good.
Yeah. Yep. You know, it was the Renaissance, Middle Ages, and then the Enlightenment periods that followed in around 1226. And in looking at this other, I had put it up because I wanted to see it. I wanted to show you.
We just see a blank.
This is continuing. Oh, okay. You see, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll be right there with you. And you know, what was happening too is just recently with a Saturn-Pluto conjunction just a couple months ago.
Right.
The last time that happened was in 1518. And at that time, Uranus was also in Taurus, just like it is now. So that was what was somewhat what was happening that was important during that time was Martin Luther, you know, nailing the 95 revolutionary that would start the opinions that would start the Protestant Reformation at that time. That was big. That was big. And,
so
and all of them in Capricorn. Yes.
I have, moving into the age of Aquarius, how is that going to affect artificial intelligence and the way we use it? And
that's
also,
huge. Thank you.
And also, what do you think about how it's going to affect the burgeoning respectability of psychic work and astrology and things like that?
Well, okay, so I think that already, you know, these arts, these sciences are growing, and becoming more acceptable, and I think this will continue. I do also think that artificial intelligence is going to really take off for better and for worse, right? It's like humans are becoming cyber beings, and everything will be like on the cloud. Our heads are in the cloud. Space travel, digital currency, okay? yeah, I think that this is all really big stuff that is going to be, that's going to be happening. And um, just one second here.
Could be very good for the planet.
And this particular, I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said it could be
miss
very
something?
good for the planet.
Yeah, we hope so. Listen, it's all a choice. Now, the last time, we also have the Saturn square happening between Aquarius and Taurus, Saturn and Uranus. Saturn, again, representing the establishment and traditions and limitations, while Uranus is representing freedom, instability, innovation, radical change, right? And we had this configuration also in 1934, and then in 33, we had the rise of the fascists and the
Right.
dictators, Hitler, Stalin, Mao Zedong. And 34, we had a turning point of the Great Depression. Unemployment was 22%. Some of the things that we've had to contend with for different reasons. But these will become ironed out. There's this instability, this process, and we can't go back. And that's a key here. If we imagine that as a world, as a globe, we can go backwards and use old solutions. That's not going to happen. It can't happen.
Okay.
Does anyone have a quick
Yep.
question
So
about
it's-
your own chart for Alexandra? Because you all got your charts from astrology or wherever. Alexandra, just to sum it up, are you, it sounds like you're pretty hopeful about the Biden administration looking at his chart.
I am pretty hopeful. I'm hopeful. Look, it's not going to be easy. We have Saturn and Uranus combination, so it's not going to be easy. It's about how do we change in an innovative way the structures and make them still, to some degree, safe and secure. But also what I do feel hopeful about, I feel hopeful. I am hopeful. I think it's going to be hard work, but I think transformation, there's kind of a rebirth quality that wants to happen. And I think that that the Biden administration is going to honor, where we come from in our past, but at the same time kind of push us towards some innovative solutions. I do. And especially in how we, we as a nation have gone after whatever we want. We have that strong 8th house. And we want other people's resources, other nations' resources. There's going to be a shift in how we go about that aspect of our influence on the globe, I think. I am hopeful, yeah, much more
If
hopeful.
people wanted to consult with you about their chart, progressed or natal or whatever, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, they could get on my website, which is wisdomastrology.com, and get in touch with me. I'm in the process of renewing it, fixing it up, but you can still contact me through there, or just call me at 530-520-9992, or get on my email, Alexandra Karacostas at yahoo.com. Any of those ways will get people in touch with me.
If people need that again, you can just email me.
Absolutely, yeah. And on my website too, it speaks a little bit about the kind of work I do, which is not just, which I do astrology, of course, I teach all over and have clients all over, but I also lead sacred site tours in Greece.
Beautiful. Where in Greece?
Well, all over, and I work, I've been working, the last couple have been with one of my colleagues by the name of Ariel Gutman, and she's done a lot of work with Venus star point. I mean, she's in mythology. She's we're gonna go to some ancient healing sites, sacred sites, do dream work. We're going to go to hot springs, mineral waters, and do a lot of dream work and mythology along with astrology. Yeah.
Alex, could you get out of sharing screen, because we're just seeing a big black box?
Oh, sure.
I'd rather see you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. I am so sorry. Let me get out. I told you. This is your screen sharing. Let me stop sharing. There we
There
go.
we go. Alex, thank you. Would you like us to give you a little reading and healing in return for what you shared with us? Do you have a minute?
Oh, I have lots of minutes, but you don't have to give me anything. It's my pleasure.
No, we want to.
Pleasure
Is
to be with
everybody
you.
okay with, do you have a little bit more time? Okay.
And you don't have to do anything, honestly. I'm
Oh, but
happy
we
to be
want
with you,
to.
Gail.
We want to.
Okay.
All right. So
I
everybody,
love Gail's work. I love Gail.
thank you. So we all think, be in the room in the center of the head. Imagine being in your command chair, looking out at your screen. You're grounded. You have your roses all the way around your field, a rose between you and Alexandra. Let's set our crown chakra at a peachy pink. Peachy pink. And Alexandra, could you say your name for us a couple times, and we will look at a rose or the first image and just see what pops up for us, what's on the top of things.
Alexandra Karacostas. Alexandra Karacostas. Alexandra Karacostas.
But I like people to go pretty fast so they don't get too left brainy. So Margaret, what did you see when you saw Alexandra's rose?
You know anybody that's recently died, or a friend that has had a recent death, or someone close that is gone to the other side? I don't know. I just got mediumship coming up for you. And I don't know what that means, but either someone wants a message for you, or will be calling upon you to be a channel for them. And it's
interesting.
And it feels really sweet and special.
Thank you, Margaret. It's good food for thought. It's no one's close to me has died as of today.
Well,
recently, very recently, but someone might.
It's coming in, or it might be a way that you integrate astrology with mediumship. I don't know, but something's coming in with that.
Keep looking at that.
Thank you.
What I got was like kickboxing. So a lot of like, gotta fight, protect. So it looked like there's a lot happening, and that it feels like, you know, like kickboxers kicking at you is what I got, Alexandra.
What year is this for you? Is this a 5 or what?
This year for me?
Yeah, you don't know what number this year is?
Didn't look to see what year. I don't know what number this year is. I usually look, but I haven't looked yet. Yeah, I haven't.
Okay.
I don't know what year.
Who else has something to share?
But I'm gonna look. I'm gonna get my book out and look. Because I usually use Angelus Aaron's book.
But I got high energy coming up too.
Yeah.
Kat,
saltine crackers. Crisp and fresh and delicious.
Wait, Kat's on.
Crackers.
I'll go.
Kat,
okay.
go.
I saw it's a beautiful rose. Not only was the stem strong, sturdy, vibrant, and this beautiful green, but the leaves were there. There was this amazing red rose at the top. Like every piece from top to bottom was this beautiful, vibrant. Yeah, it was really remarkable. And then there was this bright blue butterfly that came over to the top. And for me, that's mariposa. So the mariposa came and alighted on the top of that beautiful red rose. And then right after that, it was really exquisite because everything was just in uniform, from the petals to everything was just so thriving. And then I kept hearing April 20th or the numbers 420. I don't know if April 20th means anything, but April 20th, is there some sort of something that's happening or something that's about to happen for you on the 20th of April?
That's the marijuana day or marijuana time. 420.
I don't think that's it for you,
We'll
but
be smoking it for 20.
That's it, but you know, Kat, I'm hoping that something comes up on around April 20th, actually. So
you might be
and something
channeling for
that I've
somebody
been
on that
looking
day.
towards.
Yeah, because it's like as soon as the
I like it.
butterfly landed on the top of the rose, then there was like a golden light. And then like I said, all I saw was April 20th, 420.
I like it. I'll take it. No, I mean, actually, I am anticipating, I'm hoping, I'm thinking, I'm intuiting something around that date. And,
How
you know,
cool.
uh,
Yeah, girl. Excellent.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
and
Yay.
astrologically too. So we'll see. Yeah. So thanks. I
Beautiful.
like that affirmation.
Eli, what were you saying? I didn't get to
Sorry.
hear your thoughts.
Saltine crackers.
What? Saltine crackers.
When you said your name, I got a really clear hearing of saltine crackers. Fresh, crisp, delicious saltine crackers. So maybe someone's going to be feeding you hors d'oeuvres on April 20th after the butterfly lands in your head. I don't know. But
I like
it was
that.
a really positive thing. It was crisp and fresh.
I like it. I'll be back in Greece, I think, and I'll be eating
fresh and
something
flaky, you
delicious,
know?
which, for sure.
You'll be serving saltines on the.
I don't know. I asked. I said, "So why saltine crackers?" And I heard crisp, fresh, delicious.
Everybody's rose was about vibrancy and energy and that kind of thing. Diana, what did you get for when you looked at Alexandra?
I saw Alexandra's rose and it was pretty open, pretty wide open, and it had a lot of petals, like a lot. And they were a little bit spiky at the tips.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I just got the sense of something incoming and just a lot going on, like, you know, a lot of facets of maybe some things in your life or activities or plans or maybe some worries, maybe just, you know, life things.
There's it's true. There's a lot going on, and I'm hoping that some things will come to fruition this year. 2020 was sort of, a lot of things stood still. Yeah.
Is there anything in particular that
Yes,
you'd like us
thank
to
you.
look at? And anything that we should look at that you want to have a little insight?
No, really. I just want us all to kind of just focus our attention on making this just a better place for us all. You know, the world needs healing. We all need some healing.
Yes. Can I tell you something
And,
that came through
to
from
focus on that.
Alexandra? Whoops, sorry. I just want to
Sure.
say before we wrap up with Alexandra, I had a sense of like such optimism, but almost being worried to be at that optimistic. Do you know what I mean? Wanting to hold a little bit back of just in case it doesn't go that way. And it just kind of feels like just a movement toward just a yes, towards a big yes. But I had that feeling of trepidation a little bit because I also feel the joy in everything. But I had a little bit of, I just had a little bit of a, yeah, but you know what I mean? But also with it, and I don't know, sometimes I'm afraid I'm projecting my own things on people, you know what I mean? But I got a source like sparkly joy, but also a yeah, but kind of thing. And it just kind of feel like maybe that's healthy and maybe that's just like bust beyond that a little bit more. And, you know, because everybody else is seeing a lot of yes.
Well, the
And I
butterfly's
felt a
coming
little
out.
bit,
Woohoo!
yeah, but you know, so I think yes too, but that's what I sensed when I looked at my screen and trying to get a sense of you. That's just a little bit of what I got.
Okay. Let's give
Thank you.
Alexandra,
Thanks, Suzanne.
give Alexandra a big gold sun over her head.
Give
And
us a hug too.
Yes.
And let's put in the gold sun amusement at how we grow, and clear guidance about the next step, and renewal of energy as well as giving it out, and gratitude for what you shared with us. And whatever else you want to put in the sun, do. The sun gets so big. It comes in through Alexandra's head, excuse me, down through the neck, across the shoulders, down the arms, fills the torso and all that's in it, down through the abdominal cavity, all that's in it, down through the thighs, knees, calves, and feet. And while we're in this space, let's put a giant rainbow over the US, especially over the Capitol, and put in, this is 2021. We are evolving. We are rational human beings who care about other people, and let that rational caring prevail. And whatever else you want to send through the rainbow to Washington, D.C., and rationality and truth around the country, peace around the world. And see, imagine little points of light of other people, other groups sending out love and peace, and think of them all connecting in a network. So we're feeding the network, they're feeding us. This network of lights is all connected and energizing each other, the planet, in love. And so it is. We can separate. And thank you so much, Alexandra.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Alexandra.
Thank you all, you guys. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you and meet you virtually. Thank you for your time. And thank you, Gail.
Oh, thank you.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Be well all.
I
Take
have
good
eggs.
care. Thanks.
Take care.
I have plenty of eggs.
Bye-bye.
My girls. I will do those
Bye-bye.
the energy exercises again if you want to record them.
That would be fabulous, Gail. 'Cause
Okay.
the
So
sequencing thing, I wanted to, Haslo and Sasha have to go. Bye.
yeah, anybody who wants to go, and I'm
Okay.
just gonna read.
Okay. Bye-bye all. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you so much, Gail. Thank you,
Good
everyone.
night.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Blessings.
So are you gonna record it or?
I'm going to try.
It looks like
I
it's
don't-
still recording.
Okay, all right.
Upper
Okay.
button says recording.
Okay.
Could we start over so that this section is separate of the exercises for,
Stop. Okay, I think we're good, right?
I turn this computer in tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll be able to save the recording.
Okay, it says recording. All right. So we are doing the basic Donna Eden balancing energizing techniques.
Thank you.
The thumbs are under the eyes. She added this fourth one under the cheekbones. Wrists cross under the collarbone. And you can either thump or rub vigorously. And then under the bra line.
No thymus? No.
Oh, thymus. Thank you, thymus. Thank you, Diana. Okay, let's do it again. Under the eyes, under the cheekbones, collarbone, kidney 27, thymus, and spleen. Okay, so those are the thumps. And then the blowout is like you want to release something. So you bend down, fists, and release. Feels good. And then the zip up is you go from pubic bone up to chin 3 times. 1, and you're breathing. 2, and then on 3, you can give it a little, click it in. And then the hook up, middle finger in navel, other finger in between the brows, hook up. So it's always good to combine breathing with it. And then the crossover shoulder pull is shoulder to hip, 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 shoulder to hip. So it's reminding the body we're bilateral, we're not homolateral. Crown pull is we pull apart our skin and we go all the way up, getting the cranial sacral fluid going, sharpening our thinking. We go all the way down and then hang on the shoulders. And then the stress release hold is these little bumps are neurolymphatic points, and they're used to calm emotions, like to switch emotions. So hands over the bumps. If you were a goat, your horns would come from here, back of the head, and breathe. And if something's bothering you, you can focus on it, wait for a switch like the sigh, and then put in the positive. And I like to switch hands. And I like I say, people call these the oh my God points because people just do that naturally. Oh my God. And then the Wayne Cook posture is the one with, let's say, right ankle over left, left wrist over right. Breathe, tongue on the roof of the mouth. Exhale, tongue on the floor of the mouth. And switch. Wait. So it's opposite wrist from ankle. And then you can end in prayer position. And then connecting heaven and earth is the one where you go down and then 1, 2, 2, 3, and then you kind of hang at the waist and slowly roll up and end in prayer position. Cross crawl, opposite elbow to opposite knee. Cross crawl is the one that's most widely used. And then the to calm triple warmer when you're agitated, you go across the eyes, rub the temples. This is gallbladder meridian.
Oh.
Over the ears, down the neck, and hang. And then you can also calm triple warmer by tapping in the web between the pinky finger and the ring finger. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that we should review? Remember that you get an individual session as part of all this, the 3 months thing. So make sure you schedule one with me.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, good night. Good to see everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Susanna, stay on and tell me how you're doing.
Okay.
Are you gonna send this to us?
Beats me. I'm going to